The next legendary coming to Marvel Strike Force is literally around the corner, and if you want to know what you've got to do to be prepared for this, the Shadow King Pin trials, then join me in this video. What is going on, everyone? I'm BPG and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I make at least 2 Marvel Strike Force videos every single week, usually based around the events within the game. However, sometimes I do get to put videos like this out right here. So if you find the content in this video helpful, please do consider giving the video a like, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you don't miss another BPG upload. And if you're new around here or not, why not hit a comment down below? I love to speak to each and every single one of you. So the Shadow King Trials is going to start on Friday, the 22nd of November. We have 15 difficulty levels for this trial. Now, the interesting thing about this is that unlike previous trials, only difficulty 1 has no restrictions right the way across the board. From difficulty 2 onwards, there are restrictions on certain nodes, which hasn't really happened in previous trials, so this is a change. However, a nice thing about the trial is that the 1 node unlock might, we don't know fully yet, but might still be on the table, as we did with Old Man Logan, where you were able to put it up to difficulty 15 or 14, and you were able to just pile through the node to get that unlock. So the unlock, we have a 4-star unlock for Shadow King, and this is going to be achieved at milestone 8, which for milestone 8 you are going to need to do difficulty 8. That'll be a full run on difficulty 8. You might be able to get away with some of the lower difficulty, maybe difficulty 7 with a load of packs on, but most likely it is going to be difficulty 8. And some information for you here that all the enemies on that node will be, or on those nodes will be level 80, G15, 7 yellow stars and 3 red stars. So that is the sort of levels that you're going to be looking to have your teams not built up to. You should be able to, as you're doing this all manually, you should be able to have it a little bit lower in levels and gear tier, but just so you're aware, that is the sort of difficulty of characters that you are facing. So the 5-star unlock is going to come at milestone 11, and this no doubt means that you are going to have to do a difficulty 11 run. And this is where the star requirements for the Illuminati and Annihilators come in. So difficulty 5, you will need the Annihilators and Illuminati to do their nodes. However, going on from that, at difficulty 11, you are looking at 5 yellow stars on your Illuminati and Annihilators. The only exception to this is Captain Britain. You can take him in at 3 stars, and he has been coded as a separate entity for these nodes. So should all go well if the data mines are correct and what I looked at. Now, what are you going to be facing at milestone 11? Well, or difficulty 11. Or difficulty 11, you're going to be having level 90 characters that you're going to be facing. They're going to be G16 with 7 yellow stars and 5 red stars. Now, the top 5,000 players will get a 6 yellow star unlock of Shadow King, or a 6 yellow star version of Shadow King. And I reckon to get within the top 5,000 players, you are probably going to be having to do at least difficulty 14, if not difficulty 15. And the 7-star unlock, or the 7-star Shadow King, is available for the top 500 players. And these players are going to be the ones who are doing difficulty 15, probably with all packs on. Now, what are they going to be facing at difficulty 15? Well, difficulty 15 enemies are going to be all level 100, all gear tier 19, and all 3 diamonds. So they are going to be the top of what is available to us as players at this very moment. So you are going to need a pretty strong roster to be able to get into those top 500 players. Now, Shadow King's red stars, in the blog about this, they mentioned that this was going to come from something called Astral Force. I'm guessing this is just going to be the initial way to get his red stars, and then eventually they'll go into the elite store for dark promotion credits. But these astral forces, they're going to come from the trial milestones themselves, the leaderboards from the trials, and then also some upcoming activities in December. So I wouldn't expect to see his red stars available for dark promotion credits until after those activities have taken place in December. So let's take a look at the nodes, and the first node, as I mentioned earlier, is the unrestricted node. And in wave 1 we have Daredevil, we have 2 hand blade masters, 2 moon knights, a hand sorceress, and another Daredevil, so 2 Daredevils. So we've got a little bit of Shadowlands sort of fusion going on here, but no war buffs to affect this team. So Moon Knight, be aware he probably does have the increased stats for the Night Stalkers rework, so he will be a bit beefier. After all of these guys are dead, you're going to get wave 2 come down. We're going to have a Nobu, a White Tiger, a Shang-Chi, a couple of Electras, Misty Knight, Colleen Wing, and a hand sentry. That is the one that gives stealth to everyone, or can do the stealth special. So we have some synergy here of Heroes for Hire and hand. Obviously, if you've not much else there really as synergy wise, and nothing really to be overly worried about on that node or on that wave. And after all are dead, wave 3 is going to drop, and that is going to give you another Nobu. That is going to give you a Daredevil, a Night Nurse, another hand sentry, a hand sorceress, and finally Man-Thing, Moon Knight, and Oath. And this is why I think the Moon Knights in the earlier waves will have the reworked stats from the Night Stalker rework. This node really isn't going to be too much of an issue for you. I would use this node to power up characters that you are going to need later on. We're going to be looking at characters like Val. We're going to be looking at characters like possibly Endgame Thanos might be one to power up. Possibly Deathpool for later on, so you get the charges on her. So this will be a really good sort of node where we are going to prep some characters to go into the next node. And the next node is the Illuminati or Captain Britain nodes. Wave 1, you're going to face 2 leaders, 2 Cravens, a Lizard, and a Spider Slayer. Now, these are all going to be very synergistic together. We have the superior 6 synergies going on, but also the villain synergies going on from Leader himself. When only 3 of these remain, you're going to get the next wave drop in, and that next wave consists of Namor, Dr. Octopus, 2 Rhinos, and a very random Red Hulk. I'm not sure why he has been put here. It's not overly thematic, but I guess that's a Gamma sort of tie-in with Leader. So we have more superior stroke sinister 6 members here. We have Namor from the Cabal. So we want to try and make sure that we are getting these leaders down, or getting the Namor down as quick as possible, so that we're breaking up those synergies. Obviously, Doc Ock coming in with all the superior and sinister 6 characters is also going to be very, very annoying. And when 3 characters remain on this wave, or from that wave, or after all are dead, so once you've got 3 characters left, the next wave will drop in. And this is the wave that's going to hurt, I think, especially with the one of the packs that's available. So this is 2 Iron Patriots and a Green Goblin Classic. So take note, these are all villain tech characters. So one of the packs that you have is going to be effective. You know, these villain tech characters are going to affect you as a player. We're also going to want to try as hard as possible, really, to make sure that as little synergies around are as possible. We don't want the 3 Cabal members landing together. We don't want Dr. Octopus and Craven and Green Goblin Classic being around together, because that can also be an absolute pain. Node 3. This is the global villain node. So node 3 is the global villain node, and wave 1, you are going to get 2 Cosmic Ghost Riders, a Captain Carter, a Iron Man Infinity War, and a Dark Hawk. So we've got some Pegasus synergy going on there. We have some Out of Time synergies going on there, but we don't have any war buffs available that we know of in this. When 2 characters remain from wave 1, you are going to get the next wave drop. This is going to consist of a Black Knight, a Rescue, an OG Ironheart, and a Agent Venom. Now, one thing to note on this is that this wave, the Black Knight and the Rescue, both have a stat mod of max HP 95. Now, I'm pretty sure if I read that correctly, that is a 95% increase in max HP. So they will be very, very tanky to take down. And the Ironheart has a stat mod of speed 95. So I'm guessing that is extra speed that she is going to get. Meaning that she might act out a turn order to how you would expect her to. And once you have 2 characters remaining on the board, or after all are dead, the wave 3 will drop, and this is going to consist of some Captain Americas. So we've got OG Cap, we've got Captain America World War II, we've got Fake Cap John Walker or US Agent, we have Infinity War Iron Man, and a Starbrand. So again, we've got not very much synergy here. You know, you could watch out for having that Rescue still around, because she could bring back the Iron Man Infinity Wars and the Dark Hawks on this node. So we do want to be very wary where that's concerned. We also want to be wary about having Peggy Carter around still, because she can obviously bring back the Captain America or the US Agent or the Agent Venom, because the Rebirth Revive on Captain Carter is not restricted to raids or to war like the Revive on the Out of Time is on her. So you're not going to have to face any of the Cosmic Ghost Riders or the Black Knights or the Starbrand even once you have beaten them, but you might have to, you know, still beat up some more of the Rebirth characters. So we do need to be aware here. And on this wave, Captain America is going to spawn with a stat mod max HP 80. So I'm guessing that is 80% extra HP or max HP and 70% damage. So he is probably going to hit a lot harder than what you expect him to and be a lot more tankier. So do be aware as you're going into that on the node. Node 4, this is our Brawler non-mythic. Now, once you get above, I believe it is difficulty 4, it goes to non-mythic Brawlers. So beforehand, you could use someone like Skrull on this node because he is a Brawler, but once you get to the higher difficulties, then this non-mythic tag comes in, and unfortunately, Skrull is no longer an option. And this wave looks kind of familiar to one of the Dark Dimension waves. We've got 4 Sentinels. So one of the bots from this aren't going to spawn at all. We also have a Lady Deathstrike, a Silver Samurai, and a Sabretooth. So not only do we have some Orcus synergy going on here, we also have some Weapon X synergy going on here. Again, luckily, no war buffs for that synergy to really pay off. But these Sentinels can be an absolute pain, and especially when you're at difficulty 15 and they are 3 diamond, Guillotine 19, level 100. They're going to be an absolute pain to get through if they are anything like the ones in Dark Dimension 8, I believe it is. But once you've managed to fight your way down to 2 characters remaining on the board, you will get wave 2 drop, and that is going to drop the Omega Red. That's not so much of a big deal. If he was on wave 1, then it would have been a much worse case scenario for us. But we do also have 2 Omega Sentinels, so we're going to have to be aware of those pings going on. That could get very annoying. She can also revive, remember, as well. So yeah, this could get messy quite quickly, this node, and I think this could be the node that trips a lot of people up, especially when you get to the the non-mythic part of it all. And then when you have 4 remaining, so you're only going to be able to kill like 1 and maybe some bots that spawn from the Sentinels if they're still around, or after all are dead, you're going to get wave 3 spawning, which is going to be 2 Nimrods. So you can almost guarantee that you are going to have a decent amount of Orcus left on the table, or you're going to be leaving a decent amount of Weapon X left on the table for yourself to fight. And that could be very hard. The next node is node 5, and this is your Mercenary or Undying node. Wave 1, we have a Spider Weaver. We also have 2 Titanias, 2 Absorbing Mans, and a Kestrel. So instantly we see this first wave, and this puts Undying off the table, or certainly Hela off the table, because we are not going to get those Greg spawns. We've also got a high quantity of Cosmic Crucible characters here in Spider Weaver, Titania, and Absorbing Man. And their Cosmic Crucible buffs are going to be on because you're going to want the Cosmic Crucible sort of packed on so that the Illuminati are performing to the best of their ability for you. But you're not going to be able to get the Kestrel very easily because Absorbing Man is a very good pre-taunting tank. You're going to also have Spider Weaver, who is going to be the fastest character on the board. So she's going to go really early here and get those charges up. You're going to be facing 5 charges, not 3, because again, your Cosmic Crucible packed. So once you manage to knock it down to 3 remaining, so once you've taken 3 of them out, you'll get wave 2 drop, and this is going to drop you a Death Pool, a Val, and 2 Moonstones. So we're getting more members of the Masters of Evil turning up here. Still not really anything to write home about where that's concerned, but again, we have Death Pool with her Cosmic Crucible buffs. We've got Moonstone having the Cosmic Crucible buffs, and we've got Val, who we really need to pay attention to because there is no perma-kills on the Mercenary side. You're really looking at mercs for money here. And so Val could quite easily come in and get that revive off and get a load of characters back. But again, you're only going to be able to kill 1 character in the wave unless you manage to chip them all down and then kill them all before the next wave will spawn in. And this is wave 3, and this is going to be a Kang and an Ultron. So play this node wrong, and there is a high likelihood that you could be facing a full Masters of Evil team all in one go with the Cosmic Crucible buffs on. And whereas Kang isn't going to be giving them the extra speed, because it will be a defensive Kang, he is still going to be absolutely a monster, especially at difficulty 15. So this node is not a nice node, especially for the mercenaries and the mercs for money. You do have a few perma-kills here as well in Kestrel, in Spider Weaver, in Death Pool. She has perma-kill as well. I believe Ultron also has a kill that bypasses death proof. So again, mercs for money is not a real sort of locked in stone, yeah, easy job done, because we can get rid of the revives with Kestrel and Spider Weaver and Death Pool potentially. Node 6 is the Annihilators, and this node I will bring your attention to because wave 1 we have Guardian, Sasquatch, Wolverine, Sasquatch, and 2 Panda Pools. Now, we don't have the war buffs available, and thank God for that, because that would mean Alpha Fly and Panda Pool with war buffs on, and that is insane. However, all of Wave 1 are stat modded. So they have a stat mod in their JSON, which says damage 90, speed 80. So these guys are going to hit a lot harder, I believe, than what you think they would. When you have 5 characters remaining in this wave, so once you've killed one of them, the next wave is going to drop, and that is going to drop a North Star and a Deadpool. Again, you've got that revived chance then for Pandapool coming on the board because Deadpool's there. North Star is going to be able to really mess you up. We do have the Annihilators. We are probably going to have the Arena Pact on. We're going to talk about that later in the video though. When 3 remain or after all are dead, so this is the sort of slightly longer part of the node itself, we're going to get wave 3 drop, and that is going to drop us an Old Man Logan, a Deathpool, and a Sunfire. Now, we thank God that they haven't got the War Packs or the War Pack, because this node, if we did have the War Pact on with the Annihilators, would probably be very, very hard, especially with that Old Man Logan coming into the last wave. Node 7, we are back to the global villains again. And this wave, you are looking at some Black Widows, 2 Black Widows, a Big Time Spider-Man, an Elsa Bloodstone, a Morbius, and a Yellow Jacket. So we've got some infestation sort of synergies going on there, and some Dark Hunter synergies going on there, with lots of dodges as well. When 3 remain from that wave, the next wave is going to drop. That is going to be Ant-Man, Ghost, 2 Swarms, and a Dr. Voodoo. So more of that infestation, more Pym tech there with Ant-Man, Ghost, and Yellow Jacket, and some more Dark Hunters. And when 3 remain from this, you know, from the first two waves, and after all are dead, after all are dead, we're going to have wave 3 drop, which is Mordo, Agatha with the base stat rework, I'm sure, and Morgan Le Fay. This could be pretty difficult, but I think the team that we're going to choose for this will walk over this, especially considering there are no war buffs available. Node 8, we are back to the Brawler non-mythic section. And wave 1, we have Rogue, Gambit, Iceman, Cyclops, Bishop, Dazzler, and Jubilee. Now, again, we've got to be aware that we are going to have the Cosmic Crucible Pact on so that the Illuminati are functioning correctly. We do have the 3 best members of the Unlimited X-Men Cosmic Crucible team here in Dazzler, Gambit, and Rogue. So their Cosmic Crucible buffs will be available. We've also got Bishop acting as a pre-taunting tank, and Jubilee and Iceman with some of that character control. So this could be very nasty, especially due to the fact that both Iceman and Jubilee have a speed stat modifier of 90%. So I believe that is 90% extra speed. So they are going to act completely out of turn to what you would expect them to in a normal fight. When 3 characters remain in that first wave, we're going to get wave 2 drop, and this wave is a bit of a nothing burger wave, really. It is Colossus, so more taunting. Magic, not going to do much, really. We've got no Storm on the board. We've got no Phoenix on the board, so we don't really have to worry there. Cyclops, possibly, because she does the charges with that. And we have Kitty Pryde. And then when 5 remain, so you're only going to be able to kill 1 character or chip them all down and then kill them with 1 big AoE. But we're brawlers, so we're not going to really have that AoE. So after all are dead or when 5 remain, wave 3 is going to drop. And this includes the singular Madeline Pryor. Now, she also has a stat mod on her, according to the JSON. She has a max HP 90 and a damage 90 stat modifier. I'm guessing that is a 90% max HP and 90% damage. So again, difficulty 15 when she's 3 diamonds and G tier 19 and level 100. That stat modifier obviously is going to hurt, even though she is an older statted character. Node 9, we're getting near the end now, and hopefully with some packs on, this might be where we're able to sort of top out the how can we say this? Hopefully this will be where we can top out our character and get them to that max 5 stars if we're not chasing the 6 or 7 stars. So this is the Mercenary or Undying node. Wave 1, you're going to have Cloak, Dagger, Nova, Original 4, 2 Groots and a Cosmo. So we've got some Nowhere synergy, some New Warrior synergy, and some Guardians of the Galaxy synergy. When you get down to 2 characters remaining, this is going to give you Wave 2, which is going to give you Star-Lord Annihilation, OG Star-Lord, Firestar, Gwenpool, Korg, and Gamora. So we have more Guardians of the Galaxy synergy there, more Nowhere synergy, and more New Warriors synergy. And then when 3 characters remain on the board, you are going to get Wave 3 drop, which is going to give you Adam Warlock. It is going to give you a Thor Infinity War, and no doubt a stat reworked Moondragon. So you're going to be looking at the Infinity Watch synergies going on with Gamora, Moondragon, and Adam Warlock that you're going to need to be aware of. And also the new Warrior synergies from Deathpool, Gwenpool, Firestar, Cloak and Dagger for those new warriors. And remember, again, we are going to have the Crucible packs on, so these guys are going to be getting all their Crucible buffs. And then if you are a real glutton for punishment, you can go on to node 10, or if you do want to actually do a complete run like I will be trying. Wave 1 has Thor, 2 Thors even, sorry, Mighty Thor or Jane Foster Thor. We have Loki, Sylvie, and Sif. Now, these all have some stat modifiers on them. The first Thor has a stat modifier of max HP 80 and speed 85. So this first Thor will probably come in a bit quicker, or, you know, act a bit quicker. Jane Thor, or Lady Thor, or Mighty Thor as she's called in the game, she has a max HP 80 and a damage 90 stat modifier on her. Loki has a stat modifier of max HP 80, so these guys are all getting their max HP buffed, it seems. The second Thor is going to come in with more HP, 80 more HP, max HP, and 90% extra damage. And this Sylvie is going to come in with max HP 80 and 90 damage. When 5 remain, so you're only going to be able to kill 1 character from this wave before the next wave drops. And that will most likely be Sif. So you're going to have all these stat modded characters probably still on the board if you are not careful. You're going to get wave 2 drop, and this is going to drop you in with a Teen Loki, a Beta Ray Bill, and a Valkyrie. Teen Loki has a stat modification of max HP 80 and damage 90. Beta Ray Bill has a max HP 80, damage 90 stat mod. And Valkyrie has a max HP 80, damage 90 stat mod. So these are all going to hit a lot harder than what you would think they would hit, especially at the Gear Tier 19, level 100, 3 diamond mark. We've also got all the synergies of Bifrost going on here, all the Asgardian synergies going on here. So there is a lot of synergies that are going to be sat on the board. And again, when 5 remain, so you are going to have to slog through 3 characters here, but when 5 remain, you're going to get wave 3 drop, and this is going to drop some more Asgardians. It's going to drop Val, who is going to be able to bring a lot of characters back. We're going to have Hela plus a Greg. We are going to have Heimdall and another Sylvie. So there really looks like they're trying to keep that Bifrost synergy going on this node. And then, as if that wasn't enough, and all of those on wave 3, they all have a max HP, damage 90 stat modification. When 6 remain, Big Daddy Odin will drop. Now he has a stat modification of max HP 80, speed 90 and damage 70. So he is going to hit more than the Mack truck that he already is. And you're going to have all that Asgardian sort of bonuses kicking around as well. So this is probably going to be a very, very hard node, a very deceptive looking node. I know there are a lot of people who have said that this looks pretty easy, this trial. I think it's going to be very different, especially knowing the stat mods that are available in the JSON. And so with that, now we know all the enemies, let's take a look at the packs and let's have a discussion about what ones we are going to put on ourselves. So we have Experimental Serum 2. This is going to give enemies 20% max health. And Experimental Serum 3, which is going to give enemies an extra 30% max health. Now, for people like myself, I'm probably not going to put these on. However, if you are looking to get into the top 500 players, I reckon these are going to be 2 of the packs you are going to need to hit those tippy top scores. Forged in Fire, all Crucible abilities are active during this run. Now, this is going to make the Illuminati perform even better than what they would do without this on. I am a little worried about this though, because there are also a lot of Cosmic Crucible enemies on here. We've got Spider Weaver, as I mentioned earlier, in the Brawler nodes. We've got some new warriors in the later on nodes. I think it was node 8. We've got some new warriors that we're fighting. We've also got the Cabal and the Sinister Stroke Superior 6 members on the Illuminati node, I believe it was. So we have a lot of characters that are going to benefit both ways with this. So both enemies and, you know, us as the player is going to benefit from this pact. Are you not entertained? All arena abilities are active during this run. This is for your annihilators. This one is a definite put on. There's no even question about putting this one on. Magneto was right. Mutant villain characters deal an extra 15% damage. Again, I think this could be a very dodgy pact to put on. Mutant villain. So if we take a look at the nodes that we've got Madeline Pryor. We have Namor. We have any nodes where Namor is included, any nodes, that node with Madeline Pryor, dealing that extra 15% damage, especially with the stat modifiers that she's got on that Madeline Pryor node, that could be your comeuppance. So be aware when using Magneto was right. The next pact is Resistance is Futile. And again, I think this is a very double-edged pack. When a tech villain character spawns, enemy characters lose 5% resist. Now that might not seem so bad, but remember there is the Sinister 6 and Cabal node where you are going to get your resistance severely dropped, especially in that last wave where you have Green Goblin Classic and the 2 Iron Patriots drop. They are all tech villain characters that are going to spawn and make your characters lose 5% resist. Dark Cosmic Rays at the start of their turn. Cosmic villain characters gain 5% speed buff for every positive status effect they have. This one is not a problem. This is purely made for your annihilators, I think, and you should have no issues putting this one on at all. Devour. Bio-villain characters heal for 10% max health when they defeat an enemy. Now this, I'm sure, was put in mind for the Undying. However, none of the nodes really look like Undying will do much to them. The Mercenary Undying nodes, none of them really look like the Undying will actually be able to do anything. So, yeah, this pact is going to be put on, but it will help people like Gore and Gladiator, so that's all good. Villainous momentum. When a character defeats a hero character or a player character, they gain 50% speed bar. That's going to be put on. We are not going to be looking to be losing our characters, so that should be pretty safe to put on. And stronger together. This is another one that we are going to put on for ourselves because this is going to make our Illuminati much, much better. Global hero characters gain plus 5% damage for each Avenger, Wakandan, or Inhuman ally. And so this brings me to the infographic. These are the teams I am recommending for the Shadow King trial and what I will be running personally myself. On the Illuminati nodes or Captain Britain nodes, nodes 2 and 10, we have Black Bolt, Hank Pym, Black Panther Shuri, Iron Man, and Captain Britain. This is to get the most out of that pact that we are going to put on. The Annihilators is a pretty much solved one. There are only 5 Annihilators to put on the board, so that is all you're going to do. Global Villain, because we are putting that Cosmic Crucible pact on, we are going to be taking in our Cabal. We're also going to take in Lady Deathstrike and Apocalypse. Lady Deathstrike should be able to go pretty quick, get some crits, get those crits going so that the Cabal get going quickly, and hopefully that should be enough for the Global Villain nodes. You could also use the Orcus on this, and that would be quite good, especially considering you'll have 5 villain tech characters there, so you'll be lowering the resistance of all enemies by 25% there. The Brawler non-mythic nodes, this is probably the nodes that have the most sort of, how can we say this? The most sort of theory crafting available in them. So nodes 4 and 8. I think you're going to want a core of the exposed mechanic ones. So you're going to want Val, you're going to want Thanos Endgame, and you're going to want Nightcrawler. And then I've just put pretty much the 2 best sort of brawlers that have come out this year so far or been reworked this year in Lady Deathstrike and Blade. However, you could have some alternatives here of Spider-Man Pavitra. Kraven would be a decent one. Or if you have Red Hulk built, because he's still relevant in the meta at the moment, or Black Cat that you would have built for Dark Dimension 7, they would also be fine choices on this node. And the Mercenary or Undying node, as we mentioned earlier on in the packs, Undying don't really seem to be an option here, although they are mentioned on the node. The characters that you're going against in that just do not seem to be favourable for that team. But Mercs for money do, and that is pretty much a given extra team really that you need above Illuminati and Annihilators. Now, we had this last time in the hero skill section on the Old Man Logan trial, where you couldn't get through that if you didn't have Spider Society, and this is a very similar process, only this time they've actually given you the courtesy of calling out the fact that mercs are needed. Mercs for money, that is. Now, this infographic will be available on the Jetson Squad Discord. I will also put this up on my YouTube community tab. Hopefully this helps you all out. And so some final thoughts on the trial. I believe this trial is going to be a bit harder than what people think it is. There are those stat modifiers in there which a lot of people haven't talked about because they probably didn't know about them because they don't read the JSONs like I do. But, they are going to be things to be aware of, especially when you have the higher difficulties where there are, like I said, difficulty 15, where you are going to be facing the Gear Tier 19, level 103 diamond characters. Let me know what you think down below in the comments about the Shadow King trials. How are you preparing for the Shadow King trials? Again, let me know down in the comments below. If this video has helped you at all, then please do consider giving it a like and maybe even share it with some of your alliance mates. I wish you all the best of luck in the Shadow King trials next Friday. And until next time, everyone, stay positive.